Good morning. Welcome to the conversation on TOSTV Network, your digital first Pan-African news network. And by now, you know we're reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. And of course, my name is Adesu Elsie. In the conversation today, there's been a lot of buzz about youth involvement in politics ahead of 2023 general election. And we're just going to be looking at that on the big story segment of the conversation today. But before then, allow me to bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa. And after that is straight into the talk for today. You're still watching the conversation on TOSTV Network, and as I always say, you have to be a part of the conversation. Just follow us across all social media platforms. It's TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's TOSTV Network, and of course, stream our website for news and stories from across the world. It's www.tostvnetwork.com. Now, moving straight into the talk, the crux of the matter today. Despite growing evidence, of youth activism and mobilization, for politics, Nigerian youth have yet to achieve the level of participation that we want to see them be involved in politics. And there's been a lot of buzz around preparedness or readiness of youth, Nigerian youth, for political position and elective positions in the country. And that's what we're going to be looking at on the conversation today. Reasons why Nigerian youths aren't ready for political offices. And to help me, dissect that issue, analyze or demystify that, as a young person in politics, he is a businessman and politician, Abdulaziz Abubakar Kaka. Good morning and welcome to the show. Good
morning, Adesha.
It's good to have you. Now let's just break this down. It's very obvious that political consciousness among young Nigerians has hit an all-time high. It's way better than what we had 2-3 years back. But observers have doubted the seriousness and readiness of Nigerian youths, for political positions, especially ahead of 2023. Why do you think that is? Why do you think they feel as though Nigerian youths aren't ready for that button?
Okay. Once again, good morning, Adesha.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I would like to maybe take you back to 1999, from when democracy started.
Yeah.
At first, initially, it was from military to civilian rule, the democracy, and then we witnessed from after a democratically elected president to another one after his term, and they've also witnessed an incumbent lost to an opposition.
Yeah.
So which now we're heading to about 20 years now of uninterrupted democracy.
Yeah.
So along the lines, the game changes a bit, because maybe at first it was about violence and what have you, and then but now, like you mentioned, from 2015 till now, a lot has changed, especially from 2019 now. We know that it's all about the numbers now.
Yeah.
And with the new electoral act that has been signed, that was signed, it's heading towards technology. So there's more credibility now to it, and we know that once we are ready, let's say once you're ready to go for any seat, the pros and cons, and mostly it's about resources rather. So that's why they feel maybe we're not ready, because politics is very expensive. But now we know how to do fundraising, how to push a project. Let's say, let me give an example with the NSAS, and you would just, once you have a project and you believe in it, before you know, the numbers will pull up. So we've been doing that, and recently in APC there was a candidate for running for the office of zone national youth leader. He was also crowdfunded. I think his ticket is 5 million. I think there is over 4 million for him on social media. So these are things that to show you that things are getting serious now. These youths now know what is in for them, and then how to unite and get to certain goal that they want. So that's what people fail to understand. So when they're not saying youths are not ready, and that was maybe youths of 2014 backwards. But now all of us are, we know that we belong to the same constituency. So to an extent, we've been partisan, but to an extent, we are youths first before anything. So you're going to see tremendous changes, like I said, from 2023, because I believe the number of youths that will go into the National Assembly will be much. And then by 2027, I think probably will take over majority of the House. And with time, we'll start producing governors from 35 to 40. Yeah, because it's...
I like how you've pictured what the future of Nigerian politics and government look, and then you've just spread Nigerian youth across all of those positions. But there's been a setback, because I've spoken to some young persons as well, and I know they've told me that I'm not going to support a young person running for any office in this country because I cannot trust their leadership prowess. It's easy to say you want to take this position, but why do I have to buy into it because you're a young person like me if I don't believe that you can actually wear that shoes properly? What's your take on that?
Irrespective of age, we have to be realistic when it comes to governance and electing people to certain positions. There are young people that won't perform. No matter what you do, they are just like that, and there are old people that will perform. But as we're saying, we are youths, we can sit down and identify certain person from track records, from what he's been doing, and from his clique, from his friends. You would get to know, okay, this is a serious person. Okay, no, this person is entertainment. So you know, this person is tech. You know, all those things. So it's easier now to identify the project and then to know if it's feasible or not. I cannot say I'm running for president and I expect people to fund me because it's not possible.
Okay.
So it's a gradual, it's something that is planned. We can't take over now.
Okay.
We're very ready.
Yeah.
But how do we do it? We start from state assemblies, the national assemblies. So if we should have majority from that, we'd start making governors. So we should be very realistic because you're 35 and then you just say you're running for president. Even me now won't support you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because...
Is it is it the age, or you feel like a young person is not ready for that seat just yet?
Nigeria as a whole, like I said, democracy is 23 years old now. We head into 23. We can't afford to be trying, let's say, to be doing trial and error for now. Yeah, we need people with expertise. So if let me walk you through, let's say there's a CV. If you want to hire someone, if the person has 3 years experience, working experience at certain level and an organization related to your organization, so it's easier to know that, okay, this person will deliver when the tax is a bit higher.
Yeah.
But you can't just expect someone maybe just working maybe in an organization with, let's say, 10 people to just come and say he wants to be president of Nigeria. What have you done? You see, in systems like China, in the Chinese system, before you're even elected to, let's say, even maybe governor level or president, there are certain processes that you have to, the system that you have to be in. That, okay, this one has managed 100,000 people and he has done well. Okay, let's push it to 3 million people and see, you know. So we need, that's why I'm telling you, it's a gradual progression. Yeah, it's a gradual progression. You have to be in the system to know, okay, the legislative has these certain parts and all these things experience, you will learn them. Okay. You learn them, you don't read about them. Okay. You learn on the job. So I feel when we go through the electoral the steps, you'll be more prepared once you're given the opportunity than just going offer and say I want to become a governor without even knowing what the governance is all about. It's not about social media. I keep saying it's local. So you have to know, you have to have certain level of experience before going for these fields.
Okay. Before we actually wrap up the show, I know you're gunning for an office at the APC, the Northwest Youth Leader of the APC. Yeah. That's this Saturday. That's the election.
Yes.
Okay. So, going from your experience so far with having survived for the position, campaign, and all of that, how do you get a good number of young persons into leadership at state, local, and national level? How do we do that?
Okay, that's why I'm even buying for the seat, because if you're among the people that select who gets to have a ticket of a party,
Yeah.
that way you give lots of youth opportunities. Because if you're not in that system,
Yeah.
they can't have, let's say they can't have a representative on that platform.
Yeah.
So, but if we are in the system, and I'm very impressed with the interest the youths are having, because I think for my seats we are about 8 people that are vying for that position
Or
from
young
Northwest.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the interest is very much it's very much high, and then it now goes down to the leaders now, to the leadership now, to select based on capacity. You get, if the youth wing of our party should be very, very active now. I've mentioned democracy is 23 years old. The youth wing should be to have a representative that would hold the interests of the youth at heart, that would negotiate for the youth, because that's the main thing. We make up over 70% youths, and women make up 70% of the population. So we should have someone that is willing to fight for seats for us, someone that is willing to negotiate, and then someone that is a good mobilizer. You shouldn't just, I don't think positions like that should be for compensation, or it should be for certain anointed candidates. It should be interesting in a way that I think they should get the youths to choose who they want to lead them, and then that way you'd encourage them to become more active in party politics, and then we'll see the result that we want.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining me on the conversation this morning. I do hope that I could have you another time, maybe after your elections. I can have you another.
I would love to
All
be
right.
here too.
And thank you for staying with me up until this time on the conversation. Do not forget that I'll be back here, same time, same channel tomorrow. But before then, follow us across all social media platforms. It's TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The channel to subscribe to on YouTube is TOSTV Network. And of course, to my website, www.tostv Network, for news, stories, and happenings from across the world. My name is Adeswal C. Thank you, and join me again tomorrow.